So we've got Verdant installed here. I've gone for the low res option, which is an optional file on the texture page. This is to keep it consistent with what I chose for Unbelievable Grass 2, and also because, again, I believe grass is pretty small and you don't need super high res textures for it. It's just eating VRAM for no reason. This mod recommends that grass types per texture is 15. That means we can see up to 15 grasses on a 15 different types of grasses on a single landscape type, which is pretty cool. And then the density can be low as 60 for the most density up to 120. So we're going to try, I think the mod page recommends 70 as like your basic middle of the road. That's how he runs it. So we're going to try 70. So this might end up being a little less dense than our Hints landscape grasses were, but should still be pretty dense. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Verdant, again, you're going to have more types of grass, more variety of grasses. That's one of the really key features of this mod, is it really adds some new grasses that you've never seen before, and really makes it look different. It's not super green or like golf coursey, which is something that I like about it. I think a lot of people like. It's also not super realistic because it does change the grass types a little bit from vanilla. And again, the Bethesda devs did know what they were doing. They knew botany. And so a lot of what they've done is appropriate. So we're going to start in Markarth again, just to see what it's done in the exterior there. And I think one of the things about Verdant is it's basically a total landscape overhaul. So it paints new landscape textures instead of just editing the vanilla ones. That can lead to some really interesting little tweaks that it does, but it also can cause a compatibility issue. So I've got my density set down here pretty low. The lowest I recommend is 60. And you can see it's not super dense. So you can see already we've got some unique grass types. We've got these little strawberry plants here, which look really cute. Not super dense. And then you can also see we've got over here some, I'm not sure what those are, but we've got some kind of little flower here. It is clipping through the walkway a little. It's not a huge issue. And then you can also see nothing on the road itself. And again, that's one of the big advantages, and in some ways a disadvantage of Verdant. The big advantage being it's got unique landscape texture painting here, so you never end up with grass clipping through your vanilla roads, your vanilla buildings, and so on. Those never have grass coming up through them. The thing is, if you came in here with a mod that maybe added a new road or a new building, or even one that changed the landscape to allow the placement of a new building, Verdant is going to conflict with that, and you're going to end up with landscape bugs where you have like a sudden drop. Not even a sudden drop, but like a hole in the ground and that sort of thing. And you can get that if you don't patch those. And patching them is really tricky. Like, patching landscape in the CK is a huge pain in the neck. So that is, it's good in a lot of ways, and if you don't have a lot of mods that are editing cities and so on, especially if you are only running mobs that are really popular and already have patches made, you can really benefit from using Verdant because of the fact that it does that. If you're using less popular mods or mods that do edit a ton of landscape, you're definitely going to hurt. So you can see we've got some real plant. We've got this burdock here. Again, don't think it looks so good in two-dimensional, but it is something that you might find in the Reach. More of these strawberries, or maybe these are blackberries. Hard to say. But you can see it's not very dense, and again, this is with the pretty dense setting, so our performance is quite good. But it's not looking that great compared to the other mods. So we could set our density lower. We could set it down to 20. Performance would go down. Definitely performance is pretty similar to vanilla right now, so that's a good thing for it. And again, we're talking about original Skyrim here, and on SSC your performance might be quite higher. Okay, back to my favorite spot. Again, density not so good here. And it's raining again! This is why it's my favorite spot, because it always rains. Performance, not so good. Density, not so good. Why are we giving up so much performance for shit density? But I do like it's got some unique plants, the burdock. You can see these little green, dark green things coming in here. So yeah, we've got some nice flowers in here. It's just, it doesn't look right. I almost feel like I've got the wrong performance setting. Let's go check that real quick. I recommended 70 in the mod description, and we do have 70. What's going on here? I could try it down to 60, but I think our performance is just going to tank more, and the difference between 60 and 70 is not going to be that big. So we're going to continue as is, and go look at the tundra, which again, this is probably super dense. What's this? It's just kind of orange, no character. Got these little yellow grasses in here. Those are interesting. Yeah, not very dense compared to Unbelievable Grass 2. Performance is definitely much better. Again, density and performance, there's no way to have both. So we've got less density and also better performance, so that's definitely something we can count on to be consistent. Have these red grasses here again. I'm almost wondering if that's on a landscape texture that none of these mods are touching. Yeah, this is way less interesting even than the Enhanced Landscape Grass plugin, and less dense, better performance. I'm not super excited about this at the moment. I'm not really sure what's up. I remembered it being more interesting, but this is what it is. Let's move on to the next region, which would be Riverwood. Rawr, bear. Okay, so we can see we actually don't have any snowgrasses here. We do have these cattails, these sort of grassy grasses. So that's actually super cool that we're seeing that. It blends in really nicely at the edge here. Well, my water mod's really nice. I'm actually using Purity without any of the weather changes or weird waterfalls or anything like that. It's just Purity. Just pure waters basically, but the upgraded improved version, and I think it really blends nicely there. We can see if we go up here, got some little white flowers, some daffodils. You can see dandelions. Some dandelions there. So this looks pretty nice actually. The density is still nothing to write home about. Our performance is great though, up to 74, so that's totally comparable with vanilla, and I think it is more dense than vanilla. If I'm remembering correctly. I think that's a retexture this mod is doing, and they're kind of glowing neon green, aren't they? That's a little weird. I don't know about that. Actually, are these a mesh that we can click on? They are! Look at that! So that's a mod that's a plant that not only is not there in vanilla, Verdant's adding it there, and really doesn't look good. So there's an example of something that, okay. Maybe also if we had a less bright EMB, it might look a little better. You can see that I've been playing too much Overwatch, jumping around everywhere. Yeah, so we've got some cute little flowers here. I think overall this looks pretty nice. That's weird. Definitely not so pleased with the density, but the performance is decent. We're at 60 right now, so that's, you know, it's okay. I'm gonna go to the Rift next. See, so this is gonna be pretty different from the Enhanced Landscapes, because you remember Enhanced Landscapes and Unbelievable Grass had those red leaves on the ground that are designed to match with realistic aspen trees. And we're not... Oh, we got orange leaves on the ground, okay. So those do match a little better with vanilla. They're still not the same color. They're kind of glowing orange. Maybe if we change the weather a bit. that definitely blends better. So definitely your weather and EMB are going to have a big effect on how those look, but they definitely, I'm not liking the color on those, and you can see it's basically the same texture. Kind of glowing a bit. And again, we've got this mix of brown and red grass in here. We've actually got these dark yellow grasses here, which look nice. Oh my god. So yeah, overall, I don't think this looks as nice as Unbelievable Grass 2, which I think still looks the best, especially if you're using those poplar mods. Okay. Let's get out of here. Let's go take a look at the swamp. Actually, where are we? Yeah, the swamp. So yeah, again, nothing really to write home about, nothing bad about it either, and it's really, when it comes down to, is a matter of preference. The performance was fine there. I'm actually not seeing as big of performance differences as I expected. So what have we got here? We've got these little, these almost look like popcorn? I'm wondering if those would look better if I was using a high-res version mod, but you can kind of see how they're cut off. High-res version's not really going to help that. Performance is decent here, on par with vanilla. It's just not very dense, and I'm not liking these tufty sort of grasses. That's okay. Well, it's not as bad as Unbelievable Grass, definitely. It doesn't have the immersion breaking carrots. But again, I don't know. This wouldn't strike me as like the perfect grass for the marsh either, so maybe if you really like it, then, you know, you can use it. Let's go to Solitude, my favorite spot. This one's been the prettiest with all the other grass mounds, so let's see how it looks with Verdant. And Verdant, you know, the thing is, I feel like my density is not high enough because I'm really not seeing a lot of the unique little grasses that we're supposed to see. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have a lot of little flowers here, but it's not striking me as unique compared to the other mods. It's just kind of, maybe I'm looking at too many of these all at once. And we do have the buttercups here. Go away, snow. 69 FPS, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it is what it is. We're gonna go look at the snow. Shiny Argonian. Oh. Nothing. Well, that's very interesting. So you remember I was complaining that, like, why do you have snow here? The grass shouldn't show up. Well, now you can see you don't have grass here. You can actually see the spots where there would have been grass sticking up through the snow. And there's not any. So this is actually doing what I would have asked for here. And you can see the performance is way higher because of it. But it looks worse. So maybe I should be careful what I ask for here. So if you're the kind of person who, like me, thinks that you can get a snow texture replacement to get rid of these parts where it's bare ground, and I think that would look actually way better, and obviously better performance in these snowy areas. So Verdant, none of that ugly snowgrass. What a difference. In the last spot, we're gonna go to Falkreath. It's, you know, it's nice. It's nice. Definitely, we don't have any of the little flowers we might expect to see here. Don't have any, yeah, I feel like if I had the density set way higher, it would look nicer. But again, I'm using the recommended settings from the mod page, so I don't really know. Performance isn't so great right now. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so that's Verdant. Definitely not as verdant as I expected. The sort of lush character that I remember from this mod isn't here, and I find that really surprising because I am using the recommended any settings. So I was expecting a lot more density of grass here, and I'm really just not getting that. Yeah, weird. Okay, next up we're gonna do sky and floor overall. I'm gonna go take a look and see if we can do the grass only version of the plugin so we don't have the trees distracting us and impacting our FPS.